He could be your child or the kid next door.
Your eyes open, you think about heroin. Nothing else, nothing else.
I'm Alex, and I'm from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I was adopted when I was 5. See, I remember the day my mom dropped me off. My brother and sister were separated from me, and ever since that day, my whole sense of security went out the window. 5 years old, I didn't know anybody, and the lady that my mom dropped me off to, she got rid of me this very same day to a homosexual guy. This homosexual guy, he beat me every day. And being that I was in a homosexual house, all the kids beat me. You know, when I was in school, I got picked on a lot, bullied, and that started weed addiction. I started doing weed back then. And I grew up with PTSD. I didn't even know what that was. But PTSD, it comes from being beaten. My dad always told me, death hurts, go away. My dad always told me that I wanted a kid named Alex so I could kill him. I didn't hear love. So my mom came back for me when I was 15, but I still held a grudge. I couldn't get over it, you know. So I went out when I was 17 on my own. I joined the Army when I was 21. I was in the service, Operation Iraqi Freedom. I messed my back up. They had me on Oxycontin 80s. They put a spinal cord stimulator in my back. The battery's dead, but medicine for PTSD, bipolar, that's a couple hundred. And then Oxycontin 80s, twice a day, I got addicted to those. And they're $50 a pill. So I started doing meth. $5 or $10. I didn't feel any pain. I was high. It was just a great experience. But the more and more I wanted that escape, and you weren't escaping, you're just chasing a dragon, and that's a bad demon. I got a charge in Pennsylvania for aggravated assault. And trying to get a job with aggravated assault, you're not going to get too many jobs like that. So I was working low-end McDonald's and pizzerias, washing dishes just to try to survive. I got tired of it. I went to Mexico. I found the love of my life. We had 4 kids. I was there for about 5 or 6 years. And then I just came back before the pandemic. But I was hooked on meth. And the meth in Mexico is dangerous. But they don't want anybody doing meth down there, so they kill them. You got to be very careful. This woman played with my heart. The only thing I wanted was love. Never got it when I was a kid. And I tried to hold on to that for so much. And I came to terms that I can't have normal relationships with people. I'm not a people person. I'm out here in the streets. I've been here for about 4 years. Ever since I got back to Mexico and the pandemic happened, I ended up in jail for vandalism. I just got out the other day, and it's hard because I don't have a phone. I don't know how to get to GR. I have the insurance, but I don't know how to get there. I don't have a mailing address. I need a GR card, but ain't nobody gonna take me all the way over there and get that. Okay. So without a phone, at first in the pandemic, you couldn't get a hold of the office. You can't get them to print a card. There's no help. You need ID for that. I lost my ID, and California won't give me an ID because I wasn't born in California. Okay. But I stay here because it's warm. Everywhere else is cold.
You know what?
Out here in the streets, like, you don't know if you're gonna eat. Everybody's robbing each other. There's so much trash, there's so much filth, nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody else to go through that. This ain't no joke out here.
Yeah, I get it.
Everywhere we go, we got gang members. We got different gangs. If I just step across the street, the wrong part of the street there, I'm done. Nobody wants that.
So if you don't mind, could we talk a little about, like you were talking about your childhood? Mm-hmm. Was there like sexual abuse, or is it just physical abuse?
Not with him, but his friends.
Okay.
He beat me because his friends told me not to tell, or else they beat me up or they tell my dad a lie and I get beat. You get beat for telling the truth and you get beat for telling a lie.
Okay.
So you don't know what's right, what's wrong.
And you think that's what kind of led to the, playing a role in your drug use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, broken home.
Yeah.
And I see it out here with everybody. I talk to everybody on the street here. They came from broken homes. Dad wasn't there. Mom raised them. Some of these guys are on the feminist side. Dad was there to raise them. They beat them. They left home and they just want to do that, get high all the time. I'm so done with that.
And you don't mind me asking, what are some of the things you've had to, what are some of the more extreme things you've had to do to support your habit?
Oh, I was making money. I always worked.
Okay. What did you do?
I worked for Pyramidal up here on Lancashire, but he was only paying me like $10 plus food.
Okay.
He didn't have the clientele to even help me, but it was food.
Okay.
There's grapefruit trees behind that. There's orange trees all over here. When I went over to Canoga Park, there's guayaba. There's all kind of fruit trees over there. I ate fruit a lot.
Okay.
Sometimes the police will come around and they hand you a packed lunch, and that's pretty cool.
Okay. And and you're kind of at your worst. You mentioned, what was the most you were using a day?
In Mexico, I was using about 1,000 pesos every 2 days. It's about 500 pesos, and that was a lot.
And where were you at in Mexico?
Patzigan, Michoacan.
Okay.
I was way down there.
Jesus. All right.
I came back with my thumbprints. That's the only way I got in. And when I got in, I walked from San Isidro to El Monte.
How far is that?
I don't know. It was a hell of a walk. It took me about 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months? Wow.
I walked halfway back from. I caught a ride with the cane trucks from Patzigan to almost the middle. There's a big city in the middle, Guadalajara.
Okay.
I walked halfway back from Guadalajara because the bus wanted 3,000 pesos and I only had 1,000. So about halfway back, they did mercy and I gave them 1,000. I came across with nothing.
Okay.
So I've been trying to. I don't like to panhandle. I wasn't trying to panhandle over there. I was trying to get help for the trash, but I hate to panhandle.
Yeah,
I hate doing it because I should have my VA benefits. In the Army, my eardrum blew. They have a lawsuit about the earplugs.
Okay.
And they actually took my eardrum out and they replaced it. There's a $4 million lawsuit, class action. I could get that if only I had a place.
So how long did you serve in the war?
4 years. It was only 6 months.
But you were enlisted for 4 years?
Yeah.
And you're saying that the government, they just not there to help you?
It's too much hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
When we need it, it's now. Like, they want to take their time about getting the paychecks out. You got to do all this information. They already have all that information in my files.
Yeah.
So why do we got to keep going through that? There's a lot of veterans I see out here in the street.
That's a shame.
They'd rather be out here than try. Like, the government's trying to. You got to be at this house, and you got to do this, and you got to abide by these rules. We can't abide by those rules. We don't know how to live like that.
Yeah.
We live by our own rules out here.
If you don't mind me asking, what are some of the kind of the more heinous things you've seen? How about in Mexico? Let's start there.
In Mexico, I got picked up by, me and my wife were arguing, and she hit me in the chin. I just reacted and hit her in the eye. The Armados grabbed me up, tied my hands behind my back, put my shirt over my head, took me out to the river and beat the hell out of me. I wasn't supposed to make it back. They say if you go over the river, you're not coming back. I bought when I was working there, I bought an ID, a birth certificate, and technically I'm a citizen of Mexico too.
Nice.
But I don't want to live out there. You gotta pick fruit.
Yeah.
I was picking lemons, and they were paying $50 a box, or 50 pesos a box. They went down to 15 during the pandemic. That's
can't live off that.
No, not with 4 kids.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start selling drugs down there because the cartel was making money, but they just want pistoleros. They want you to ride in the back of a truck and shoot at each other.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
They don't pay you what they say they're gonna pay you. They rack up a bill and they just shoot you in the head. It's crazy out there.
And what about out here? What are some of the, you know, in your times of being out here in LA, kind of what's some of the...
Last year, I always walk over by the library at the park.
Okay.
I walk it at night because there's some losers out there. There's always a girl that likes to come swing at nighttime, and you got a bunch of people trying to get at her, and I don't trust them. Like, what if they rape her or something? There was a guy that was chasing somebody I know with a cleaver. I didn't have nothing. I chased him away. And that was kind of crazy on my part, too. What if he would have hit me with that cleaver?
Yeah.
People have knives out here. They got guns. You can't have guns because it's illegal, but everybody's got them out here. It's crazy.
You know, at some point, as far as, you know, you mentioned the meth use, you know, at some point you see yourself quitting, and what, in a perfect world, what would you see your future being?
I would say within the next year, because I'm about 3 or 4 days away from LA housing. I called my caseworker. Like I said, I'm down on about $5 a day.
Okay.
So if I get my medication, my pain meds, and my antipsychotics, I would probably quit.
Okay.
So that's the only thing stopping me, because I don't have the money to go get pain meds. I don't know where to go to get like, you just don't go to the hospital for that stuff. You got to go to a doctor, see a doctor. It's a long list to wait. Over in Pennsylvania, I was on a narcotic agreement where they call you, you count your shit, whatever, make sure you don't overuse. But I don't have that out here. I got to go through the whole process all over again. I was supposed to get SSI in 2015. Never made it to it.
Never made it.